I come from out of the streets, making a little money and taking my money and investing it into businesses. I really didn't have anybody to teach me about business. I don't want to go work for nobody else, so therefore I'm gonna create a business.
Figure out a way to put my money in something to make more money. I wasn't dumb. Just, not wanting to work for anybody. I wanted to be my own boss.
Let's talk what you trying to do. Let's talk what you trying to be. Trying to stack that money up to nobody as rich as me. Let's talk about our history. No, let's talk about that mystery.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode here on the Talking Personal podcast. Probably one of the only podcasts that you will probably cry, laugh, learn some shit, a whole bunch of stuff in one episode. But ladies and gentlemen, as you know, our goal each episode is to change one life through each episode. Today is a very special one. Today is going to be great. And we probably go through all of those emotions today. All right. But it's special because I have one of my very own mentees, one of my guys who he really just jumped out there on faith. He's 24 years old. He started when he was 22 with me, and we've been locked in ever since. He's like little bro now. But today we just going to talk about a lot. But ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I got my little bro. I got my platinum mentee, Mr. Felton from San Diego. What up, bro?
What up?
Listen, man. It's always a great time when you come around because we got a lot of similarities. We got a lot in common. You're a young nigga that's really just getting to it, and that's one of the things that that inspires me about you. The fact that you young, and I see a lot of me in you. This young dude that's trying to get to it the legal way. Take care of the family and so forth. And it's been a pleasure being someone that you look up to. It's been a pleasure being your big bro. It's been a pleasure being your mentor. It's been a pleasure being your business partner. So today, I really just want to tap into quite a few things from where you grew up at, your upbringing to what transitioned into the entrepreneurship. Because the thing is, it's a lot of dudes, male and female, who cap on the gram nowadays. Not just the gram, on social media, period. But it's a lot of people who are hungry, but it's a lot of people who's scared to jump out there and get a mentor and find somebody that they can pay that can take them to the next level. So I want to talk about all of these things. And you already know we keep everything authentic. Our conversations, I get in your ass, you tell me about myself, you help me grow, etc. So I want to do that live tonight. But just starting off, tell the people where you from, and give us a little bit of your upbringing. You ain't got to go too deep, but again, there's a lot of people your age who are hungry, and who just trying to get to the next level. So I just kind of want to get them the little journey of how you at such a young age been able to break in. We ain't even talking about the millions you've made outside of the boat game, but how did you tap in so soon, etc. So take us there, man. Take us on the journey.
Yeah. So like Bogo said, I reached out to him for to be my mentor. It honestly happened on accident. Glory to God. This has honestly been somebody that kind of showed me exactly what I need to do to get to the next level. I just been listening to him and taking his advice, but I really appreciate having me on here and just showing me the ropes throughout more than just business, just through life in general.
Yeah.
Man, so my story is kind of unique like his. I kind of stumbled across the business on accident, actually.
All right, hold on. Let's not, before we get into the business, let them know where you from. You grew up in San Diego. I know your parents are married, but give them the foundation. Again, I want to know how you grew up. Was everything peaches and cream, or did you really have to hustle to where give them the real game?
Yeah. So I live in San Diego, California right now. I was raised in San Diego, actually. I was born in New Orleans. When I was 2 years old, I moved to Atlanta, Georgia. When I was 7 years old, I moved to San Diego. So all I know is pretty much San Diego. As far as growing up wise, my parents, they work a regular job. My mom works at a hospital. My dad, he works from home. He's does something online where he's works for a company. So I don't really come for money. As far as hustling wise, I have to get up and just figure out what I needed to do to get to the next level, I'll say. But I always was inspired by just not wanting to work for anybody. I wanted to be my own boss. That's something I knew at an early age. I wanted to just make my own money. I didn't want to clock in for nobody. And I just looked up to, people that are getting money, entrepreneurs, because I know that's kind of my personality. I don't want people telling me what I need to do. So I had entrepreneur traits early on, middle school, high school. I was already doing stuff when I was in middle school, I was selling candy, trying to make money, you know what I'm saying? High school, I was selling firecrackers, honestly doing dumb shit. So I had the traits early on, I knew I was going to be an entrepreneur. My mom even told me, they know I was going to do something to pretty much make money, figure it out.
Yeah.
So I always had the entrepreneurial traits. As far as when I got out of high school, I was playing basketball, but that wasn't really my passion. because I already was hustling through school, making money, doing dumb shit too. We'll get into that later in the podcast, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, doing shit on the side, hustling, trying to make money, figure it out. But nobody gave me anything. I just had to just pretty much go off a leap of faith. You know, I'm not scared to risk my money to make more money. I always had like a mindset like I'm willing to spend money to make money. I'm not emotionally attached to money, as he knows, you know, and I'm always just like, I'm really ambitious, and I just want to figure out a way, you know, I can pretty much just, you know, better myself and get around the right people. That's what it comes down to, is if you're going to get around the right people, you get the connections, you can really make something happen. So I was just fortunate enough to run across Boat Goat on YouTube, but you know, we'll get into that a little bit later, how I ran across you.
But I think it's important for the people to know, like, where it really started at, because and just like you, I've been a hustler all my life. Like I was out cutting grass and shit when I was a youngin'. I used to go down to North Carolina with my cousin Ebony and her husband, and me and my cousin will go out and cut grass and shit. Yeah. And I used to keep all the motherfucking money. I give him a couple dollars or tell him he got some juices. But I knew early on I was the goddamn boss. We still talk about that shit to this day. But same shit in high school. I got fucking suspended because my mindset was like, fuck that. If we can go to Costco and get a $10 box of candy and I can flip that motherfucker and make $20, $30 off of it, that's what I'm doing. And I got caught. I had somebody hating on me. I was selling they had back. They probably still got it to this day, but back in the day, I used to get the multi box with the Skittles, the Payday, the Hershey. It was like a multi-little joint, the variety pack. So I used to hustle that shit too. So yeah, it's dope.
It's in us, man. I'm gonna be honest. Like, entrepreneurship is honestly not for everybody. Like, people think they can, you know, be an entrepreneur. Honestly, man, it got to be in you. Yeah. You got to have some type of fire in you to just get up and go do it. Because at the end of the day, we don't really got nobody to fall back on, bro. Yeah. And we got some type of fire under us. Just me being around you, obviously going to the Smitty thing too. Seeing like the high level entrepreneurs, like, bro, honestly, the people that make millions or make this type of money, they got some type of spark in them that we can't even, honestly, bro, you can't really teach this. Yeah. You know, and I feel as though like you just can't really teach it. It got to be in you, or it's not really in you.
So it was more so like, all right, my parents, they've worked my entire life. I'm not going to work for them. It's over with. Have you had a real job though?
Man, I never had a real job. The craziest shit. And I don't, like I said, I don't come from money. You know, I've never had a real job.
So you've been hustling early on. That's dope. That's dope. I had a couple of jobs, and I think for me, my approach was like, hey, I know you're getting major gems right now, but if you didn't see it, you can actually click the link below to fill out an application to come and work with me. So if you are looking to start your water sports rental business, whether it be for jet skis, boats, water cars, kayaks, whatever it is, a water sports rental industry, go ahead below, click the link, fill out the application, and hopefully I'll see you on the inside. Back to the episode. I think like early on, like I just knew that I didn't want to work for anybody, but of course not growing up having, you know, that leadership around me that knew about business. Like all of my family, you know, they all worked. So I really didn't have anybody to teach me about business. So I guess for me, as I was working, I always was like dissecting businesses, and I still do it to this day. Like when I go into different, it doesn't matter where I'm at. I'm dissecting. I'm looking to see how the operation moves. I'm looking at automations. Like recently for the boat business, I just implemented a software, an AI software that we make sure we never miss any appointments. So if somebody called at 2-3 o'clock in the morning, my AI software will pick up that text message, and they'll be engaging as if they were talking to somebody. That way we don't lose that customer, because they before they wanted to book, they didn't have anyone to talk to, so now we don't miss them because they couldn't get their question answered. It may not have been one of the FAQs on the website, but my AI is going to be able to talk to them. And I only learned this by dissecting another business. I had went to, actually this was maybe 2 weeks ago, I went to this relaxation spot, and it was one of the situations. They were closed. I needed to change my reservation, and the AI system picked up. And I was able to go through the entire, I thought I was talking to a real person.
AI is crazy.
So, you know what I mean? I dissect businesses. And so I think that's why I'm able to look at business differently than a lot of people, because I approach it different. Like when I first started into the entrepreneur world, it was more so I'm just hustling. I don't want to go work for nobody else. So therefore, I'm going to create a business and I'm going to start making money. And that's how I end up getting into a lot of fucking businesses. They say multiple streams of income, but it's not necessarily having 7 different businesses. It's taking the boat game and just being able to create the dealership, being able to create a learning program, being able to broker different joints, being able to transport, being able to we making money probably 10 different ways within the boat game. You know what I mean? Yep. So let's dive into you was hustling from high school. Let's talk a little bit how you got into crypto, because we you know what I mean, we know you ran it up in crypto. Did it come from you reading or just joining groups? Like what really took you, like really get them real game on what took you to the next level without having the upbringing of rich parents and, you know, motherfuckers feeding you the information?
Yeah, most definitely. So how I got into crypto was honestly crazy. So I actually started off with stocks. I was always like you, man. You know, once we see money, we see it. You know what I'm saying? So I always was trying to like I said, figure out a way to put my money in something to make more money. I wasn't dumb. You know, I wasn't good in school though, like with my grades wise, because you know I have really bad ADHD, so it's hard for me to focus, man. Just like you. So how I pretty much got into crypto was I actually started with stocks. So I knew stocks will obviously, you know, you put your money in, you get an ROI on your money. So you invest something, it'll go up. So I started off with investing in Tesla stock. So that was my first stock I got into, and this was back in after high school. So this was 2019. I got into Tesla stock. I invested also in another electric vehicle company called NIO. So I invested all the money I saved hustling. You know, I was selling weed. You know, doing shit, selling weed. I invested my money in stock. So I put around I believe 14 grand in the Tesla stock at the time. I forget the exact price it was.
Oh, this nigga was moving pounds.
I was moving pounds. I was hustling, like I said, man. I was just trying to get to the money, man. But I had put my money in Tesla stock, a little bit in the NIO stock, because I was reading at the time electric vehicles was like booming, like it was gonna go up in price pretty much. So I learned on YouTube. That's how I actually learned. I went on YouTube. I seen some videos. Whoop-de-whoop. I put my money in there, you know. And then my money was in the stocks, but my money wasn't really going up that fast. I'm like, damn, this is kind of slow. So I ran across like a little YouTube video at the time. I forget the exact video, but it was like a cryptocurrency coin. I'm not sure the exact coin it was, but it was like, oh, invest your money in this coin, altcoin. It was an altcoin. It wasn't Bitcoin. It was like an altcoin. So for people who know crypto, you know altcoins is like an alternative coin than Bitcoin. It's pretty much like a smaller cap coin. That's a lot cheaper than Bitcoin, but that's how you get your biggest return. So it's like, oh, the video was like, oh, invest your money in this coin. You can 10x your money in this amount of time. So I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this? 10x. So if I put 10K in this shit, I'll make 100K. Mm-hmm. So pretty much I looked at the video, whoop-de-whoop. Okay, I remember the coin now. The coin was Uniswap. That's the name of the coin. So,
hey, don't y'all go and try that goddamn go get Uniswap. This shit is over with. It's done.
Man, I got a crazy story. So the coin was actually Uniswap. I remember now. The coin is called Uniswap. So Uniswap is an Ethereum token. Pretty much, you know, you can swap different currencies on that on Uniswap. So I invested. I took my money out of the Tesla stock and the NIO because obviously I looked at the charts of cryptocurrencies. They were going up a lot faster than stocks. So I was like, damn, why is this stock going up 10, 20% over a month, but you got a cryptocurrency jumping up 200%, 300%? You know, for people who don't know what that means like you 2x your investment, you 3x your investment. The shit is jumping up like that in 1-2 days, a week. I'm like, damn, this shit don't make no sense. So I'm like, yo, I'm gonna take my money out of this shit and put my money in a crypto. Yeah. So I immediately just transitioned over to crypto. I don't want to make this slow stock money. It don't make no sense. So, you know, I said I took a risk. I took my money out of crypto. Was reading whoop-de-whoop. Put my money in Uniswap. Another currency I got into was VeChain. That's a supply chain. Sunny Lu. He's out of China. He owns that currency too. But that's another altcoin. That's the first altcoin I actually that got me to the millions, bro. Mm-hmm. But I'll get into that in a little bit. But so I converted over from stocks to crypto. You know, I put my money in there, and then within the first couple weeks, bro, my shit jumped up. From what I remember in my head, my shit went from being at 15K, I more than 150% it. So I think I made my portfolio was 45K. The shit at that point, bro, you got to realize at this time I'm 20 years old. So the shit didn't even make sense to me. What the fuck? This shit really just jumped up this quick? Yeah. So I'm like, yo, I'm trying to learn everything about this. So, you know, I keep hustling, whoop-de-whoop. All the money I'm making, fuck it, I'm going to put it in this shit. Yeah. I'm just I don't give a fuck. If I lose it, whatever, yeah. I just know this shit just doubled in a week. Yeah. So fuck it, I'm trying to learn this shit. So I put my money in. You know, I put more money in over time. I invested in another coin, XRP, another one, Chainlink. I had a little bit of Bitcoin too at the time because I was using it on the web and stuff. But I was really investing in the altcoins because I knew that was going to give me the best return on my money. So long story short, I ended up saving around hustling, making another 30, 40K, whatever. I'm putting in crypto. But mind you, my crypto's jumping up because, as you guys know, 2021, that's when the halving cycle happened with Bitcoin, and Bitcoin just skyrocketed pretty much. I think it was April of 2021 when a lot of millionaires were created on accident, and I kind of caught that wave. So long story short, you know, I invested my money. I caught the wave. You know, I ended up making around probably 1.4 million in crypto, but I didn't really know about the cycles and when it goes parabolic, everything shoots up, and then it also has a crash too. So I end up losing a lot of money too in 2022.
I think you was. I don't know if it happened like soon as we had Link, but when we had
you like 300,000 on my phone.
When we had Link, this nigga he was. I was like, all right, young nigga, I see you. Okay.
Yeah. So,
but I want to pause real quick because just like you, I come from out of the streets, making a little money and taking my money and investing into businesses or investing into something that's going to have a bigger return, right? So I just want to pause here and just sit in that for a minute. I'm not advocating for anybody to go out there and hustle, but if you are on that wave to where you hustling, be smart with your bread, man. Don't take your money and go get dripped up, going to the damn club, buying bottles, tricking off on females, taking unnecessary trips. Like, really get to the bread. You're already risking your life. It doesn't make sense to risk it for a goddamn a pair of Dior's. It doesn't make sense to risk it to go to jail and just lose your freedom, right? So if you're gonna hustle and get the hell up out of there, man. Like, put your bread to where it's gonna have a real return on it. Don't stay in the streets too long, man.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, I was always smart. So I already knew, like, okay, I'm making this fast money in crypto and the shit that I'm doing. I knew, like, I needed to transition over and get into actual business and start a business. But I just didn't know where to start. So, like, I always had a brain on my, like, a head on my shoulder. Like, oh, I was real smart. So I wasn't like a dummy. Like, I would just go spend my money on dumb shit. Like, people didn't even honestly knew I was a crypto millionaire, bro. And I kind of kept that on the DL. You know what I'm saying? The only people who really knew was, like, my mom and my dad. And I'm real humble. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that's the big difference with a lot of hustlers and a lot of those individuals who just had that drive, because for us, we got ADHD, but we also have the attentiveness to focus in on what we want to know. Mm-hmm. When we see a play, we're gonna take whatever time
that's it.
It takes to research, to read, to watch videos, to binge watch. Like, that's the type of drive and hustle you gotta have in order to scale fast and get to the next level, especially when it comes into this whole entrepreneur world. Because if you sit around and you wait on a motherfucker to give you the information,
it's not gonna happen.
You'll never fucking get it. And if you get it, it's gonna always be a percentage of it, versus you taking the time and having a self-drive to research whatever it is that you want. So let's jump into the boat thing. We actually was just playing back one of the podcasts that I was doing with another one of my platinum mentees out in Houston, and I brought you up. And I gave him the whole play, and we was watching it. And as it was playing, I'm like, this is the real story. You're like, nah, fact. This is exactly how it went. So
yeah,
tell the people how you even thought about like, what made you think about the boat thing? Like, let's talk about give them the whole story real quick.
Man, it's a honestly crazy story, man. Like, I always give glory to God for sure. You know, it's like, honestly, man, it happened on accident. When I say accident, it happened on accident. I didn't even think about, like, this is something that I'll be doing, like getting into boat chartering and, starting a business in Turks and Caicos. Like, I live all the way in San Diego. Obviously, I live in Turks now, but it wasn't like it just came to me. So long story short, 2021, like I said, when crypto had shot up, I became a millionaire overnight, pretty much. I was only 21 years old. Glory to God. In 2022, the cryptocurrency crash that happened, I ended up starting to lose a lot of money too. So at that time when I'm losing money, obviously people don't really learn what to do until they start making mistakes. They want to like kind of hop on waves when it's too late. So I had pretty much, like, damn, I'm losing my money. I need to start looking into businesses I want to get into. I should have started investing my money, liquidated my crypto, and started investing in things like real world to make me like real money, like cash flow me money so I can pay my bills. And, but like I said, I didn't have the financial guidance.
Yeah.
So I ended up losing a lot of money. I lost probably around like almost, honestly, I probably lost around like, I would say like $700,000 to $800,000 in crypto when the crash happened. So, I was real devastated. I was honestly depressed at that time too, because I'm like, damn, I just made this, but I lost this. I'm like, fuck, I should have reached out to somebody to teach me how to do this with my crypto or this, that, So I'm online. The first mentor I got before BOGO was actually a crypto mentor. Shout out my boy David. He mentored me with crypto, like, do this, do that, kind of helped me like bounce back a little bit, but not too much because I was so caught in the crash. Like, I fucked up pretty much. So in 2022, it was the end of 2022, November, December. Like, I wasn't like flat broke, obviously. I still had a big movement in it, but I had brought my mom and my dad to Turks and Caicos, and my dad already has like we already have a buddy out in Turks and Caicos. So I pretty much brought my parents to the island because, we want to go on vacation, whoop-de-whoop. And we
Hold on, we talking at 22 years old. We taking moms and pops over the
yeah.
Turks. You know what I mean? Okay.
Yeah, I took my mom and my dad over to Turks. My dad's been going to Turks though, back then, but
Yeah.
he I had I got them to come out there. I got them a flight, a little nice resort to stay at. I went out there myself too. Just trying to get my mind off a lot of shit because I was losing so much money. I was like, fuck, I just want to take a little break. So we went out there for like a week. As you guys know, Turks and Caicos is known for its turquoise waters, the beautiful scenery. Is one of the top tourist destinations in the whole Caribbean. So I was like, damn. We got out there. Damn, this water's. My mom's like, damn, too. They call me too because my dad. People know me. My dad's name is Felton too, so I'm number 2. So my nickname is 2. They're like, my mom was like, damn, too. You need to. We want to book a boat charter. We want to get on the boat and get on the water. So I'm like, all right, mom, cool. I got that. So and then when she said that, I had called up the hotel at the time we were staying at was the Tides. The concierge in the front, she arranged for us to do a boat charter, right? So she arranged for us to do a boat charter. She was telling us about the public ones and the private ones. So obviously, I wanted to do the private one. I didn't really want to go on a boat full of a lot of people. So I did a private boat charter for 4 hours. So 4 hours in the boat world, as we know now, is a half-day boat charter.
Right.
So for that, I paid around.
My nigga spent game. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So for the half-day boat charter, I spent like, it was like almost like after tax, it was like $1,400 and something for 4 hours. Now, mind you, before she got that boat charter, she was like, oh, everybody's booked on the island, so she had to call around a lot of people. So she called me back I think it was like the next day or something. Oh, I finally found a company that you can do it with. So in my head, I'm like, damn, they're booked out with the boats out here, obviously, because obviously, like when we hear certain things, we already know like this gonna make money. So I'm like, man, why did it take her so long to get a boat for us to book a charter? They're booked out. This is a high tourist area. So she finally found a company that'll do it for us for 4 hours. They picked us up right in front on the boat on our little resort we were staying at. Whoop de whoop. We got on the boat. The boat pulls up. I'm like, wait, did I just pay $1,400 for this small ass little boat? In my head, I'm not saying that, but I'm like, yo, this shit. What the fuck? In my head, I'm like, this shit is crazy. So we got on the boat. It was a good tour. I met somebody. I met a captain out there. I asked him, like, I'm on a boat. We're hustlers, but we see money. When we see money, we see money.
Get curious.
I got curious.
Yeah.
I said, bro. I said, come here. He said, oh, what is it? I said, hey, how much is the gas for this? How much gas did you just pay for this charter for 4 hours? He laughed. He said, oh, $80, $100. So I'm in my head. I'm like, $1,300 profit. So I said, in 4 hours. I said, what the fuck? So I asked him. I said, bro, how much did this boat cost? He was like, oh, the boat cost. The owner probably paid like $50,000 for this boat, $60,000 for this boat. It's a hurricane boat, a little small boat. It probably hold like 8 to 10 people. So I'm like, what the fuck? In my head, I'm like, yo, $1,300 profit. The boat only costs $50,000, $60,000. So I'm like, okay, bro, how many charters a day are you getting? He said, bro, we're booked all the time. So I said, and I know they had a charter before us because we were the afternoons. We were the afternoon one. We were from 1:30 to 5:30. So they had one from 9 to 1.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yo. So the owner made $2,000 on a fucking boat that cost like 50, 60K. So you're going to make your money back in 30 days. So at that point,
young nigga got courage to start running them goddamn numbers.
At that point, I had a spark in my head like, yo, imagine because he said, oh, the owner got 2 boats. So in my head, I'm like, damn, so what if he got both boats going out? So motherfucker must be bringing in like 50, 60K a month.
Yeah.
He could be, you know what I'm saying, on the boats that this cheap. So that's when I had a spark go off in my head. So I was like, oh shit, I got to learn about this shit because this shit is some fast money. I don't know what I'm doing back home, but I can easily bring a boat over here and, make some all the money I lost in crypto. Shit, I'm trying to make my shit right back. And this is some shit because I'm like Shad. I'm big on like being in your own lane. And I feel as though that's what kind of like help you out a lot too is you don't really see too many people like us in the boat chartering industry. You're in your own lane. You're not copying nobody. A lot of people obviously is doing the credit repair and the funding now. And everybody's like kind of doing the same thing. I kind of wanted to be unique and do something like, okay, damn, he's doing something unique. So it's something like unorthodox, especially me. This is my first business, like legit business. I'm starting it outside of the United States and Turks and Caicos, obviously. I just wanted to be like do something unique. But obviously the numbers make sense too because you're not going to get that type of ROI anywhere else, bro. It just doesn't make sense. So I was like, damn, I went after they dropped us off. I got the captain's number. Crazy story. The captain I was asking all those questions, when I brought my boat out there, he was my first captain. That's how when it comes down to connections and building relationships when you go to places, you got to always be looking at opportunities. Like people oversee like the little small things, but the little small things can open up a door for you to like make millions of dollars.
Let me give a play right here though. One thing that I've started doing a couple of years ago when traveling, because 9 times out of 10 when I travel somewhere, I'm going because I want to see see what's going on over there to see if I can start a business over there. But what I started to do was get at least one person's number in that location. So
Right.
you know, I got numbers in Honduras, DR, Puerto Rico, like everywhere. Everywhere I go, I'm dissecting businesses and I'm getting to connect, because as we get into it, you know, you making thousands of dollars every day, and that shit is nonstop. So, but go ahead. You know, you got curious.
Yeah.
You start running numbers and shit, and so immediately what you did?
Man, I hopped right on it because I already knew it was a no-brainer. Even like my mom, she was like, "Damn, too." Like when you after you got off that boat ride, she said, when I told her, I said, "Oh, I'm gonna do this." Like the first thing I said, I looked at my mom and my dad, said, "Oh, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get in the boat. I'm gonna get in the boat chartering."
Yeah.
She said she seen this fucking spark in my eye. Like, damn, he was like, "You gonna do it?" Like it was some type of like spark I had. Like, oh, I knew like God had gave me that. Like this is what you need to go do.
Yeah.
But I didn't know exactly how to start it, obviously. But I knew this was it. I just was something was telling me like, oh, you need to fucking do this. Don't worry about nothing else. This is it. So I just followed my intuition pretty much. After the boat ride, the first thing I did was, you know, like I said, I got the captain's number. I stayed connected with him. I went to the back in my room, you know, on the laptop. I'm like, I had my laptop at the time out there. I'm like, oh, I'm trying to learn about boats. I'm calling other companies in Turks and Caicos. Like, oh, are you guys available tomorrow? Just being nosy, like, but I'm really trying to figure out the market while I'm on vacation. That's how I already knew, like, oh, this shit is gonna be for me. Oh, we're booked. Oh, they got a catamaran.
Yeah.
They got a what other boat? The first boat I was telling you I wanted to get.
The azimuth?
Not the azimuth. The axopar. But he's like, no, don't get that.
Oh,
one.
yeah.
So I'm reading about boats. Then I'm learning about, okay, a boat, you can finance a boat just like a home. You know, you can put it on like a home loan term, pretty much like 15, 20 years. So you can pretty much finance a boat and only pay like a couple thousand a month. Obviously, you put it in an area where it can charter a lot, you can make a couple thousand a day.
Yeah.
So I'm just pretty much reading online, YouTube, whoop de whoop. Then I run across somebody, the boat goat, how you can make 7,500 in a day.
Hey, boat goat.
I'm like, yo, who is this? Who is bro? Because obviously he looked like me. Like I said, it's not a lot of us in the industry. He looked like me. So who you think I'm like look up to?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I looked up to bro. Obviously, I'm like, damn, let me reach out to bro and see if he can maybe like guide me in the right direction. Because like I said, I don't know shit about it, but I just know the shit's gonna make money, especially the area that I'm in.
Yeah.
So I reached out to bro, whoop de whoop. I said, you know, I reached out to you. I said, bro, fuck that. I wanna get the one-on-one mentorship, bro. I don't want nothing in between, bro. How much it costs, bro? Because I already knew. You know what I'm saying? I reached out to him. I said, you know, I'm trying to come out there. You know, you probably didn't believe me how fast I did it, but I pretty much, you know, I paid him $20K to just mentor me personally one-on-one. We turned into family now. He knows my mom, my dad, my whole family. The shit has completely just dramatically changed my thought process of making money, my life in general, bro. Like right now, my business is probably is heading towards making over multiple 7 figures a year once I get my other boats on my fleet. I already have 2 now, but he just completely just changed my life, man. I just listened to everything he said. With the journey, and it happened faster than like I thought, bro. But everything's starting to just trickle down, and it just goes into like people just take that risk, man. If you really believe in something, take that risk. You can't be scared. I wasn't scary. You saw, I didn't give a fuck. I got a boat loan. I listened to you. You helped me get the boat loan. You helped me set everything up with the back end, the VAs. I said, bro, fuck it. I'm not scared. I'm gonna just go ahead and take that leap of faith.
Yeah,
and bro. You know, glory to God. It's happening faster than I thought.
But when we connected, there was a little. He wasn't scared, but it was hesitation. And it's only because he was losing money, and also he don't have niggas do, you know, sideways shit, which I understood. So he like, look, bro, I'm gonna shoot you 10, and then I'm gonna fly out there, and I'll head it back in with you. And I'm like, all right, cool, let's go. I'm gonna put you in my Airbnb. You can stay at my spot, and we gonna get busy. And that's what it's been. So, you know, it's great. It's great to see that, you know, you really just took the information and went all in. Now you just showed me the other day you well over $500,000. We're talking about how now we can add more to the business and how we can scale. You know, within the water sports, because again, we don't have to make 7 different businesses. We just take that one business and go all in. So now we talking about adding, you know, the boat cars. You already got the clear kayaks. Now we got the drone. So now we taking numbers from 15 to 16 to now 2 and 25 and 3,000. You know, you got the food as an upsell. You know, you was on the phone yesterday just talking to your chef and your assistant, like, listen, having a communication, you know, meeting, like this is what needs to go on. And this is what needs to happen. I'm busy. Y'all need to figure it out. This is what I want. This is how it's gonna be. And it's great to see that you busting those moves, because again, a lot of niggas when they start businesses, it's a side hustle. They're not really looking at the KPIs. For those of you who don't know what KPIs are, that's your key performance indicators in the business. It's telling you what's failing the business and what's helping the business scale. So obviously yesterday you was talking about you need to get a schedule. y'all need to have, you know, this amount and that. So it was good to see that. But we talked about also having to lock all the way in, right? You're a young nigga, you making a shit ton of money, but it's also we also got to make sure the distractions
Right.
are away. So let's talk about, you know, we gonna get to, you know, the money and how you making thousands of dollars a day. And shit. Ever since you've been here almost a week, well, over a week now.
Been here a week. Honestly, I probably made at least, like, since I've been here, I probably made at least like 12 grand.
You know,
yeah.
So we gonna get into that, but let's talk about some of the hiccups you've had. Like we know as Americans, you know, it's a little challenge to go overseas, but it can be done. And when it's done, the reward is definitely
Oh yeah, most definitely.
fruitful. You know what I mean? So let's talk about it. What have been some of your run-ins? Let's talk about the jealousy that you have, you know, from the locals. Like let's get them real game on. This shit can be done, but you got to be self-driven. You got to be self-motivated, and you got to be locked in. Like talk about the shit that can happen, because we don't want to just all the good. Let's talk about the bad.
I mean, you see, obviously we're up here. You know, it's easier said than done. It's, you know, we're making it seem it's all good, but like I said, entrepreneurship is not for everybody. It comes with a lot of bullshit. You're gonna come with a lot of like weird shit you never ever even expected, even from people that's closest to you.
Yeah.
Me starting a business in another country, you know, obviously I wasn't born in Turks and Caicos, you know, I have the connections there, but I feel as though me going over there is definitely a lot of like jealousy, as you said. People that's working for me, you got to realize I started my business when I'm 22 years old in a whole other country. People that's working for me, they're already older than me, they're like in their 30s, mid 30s, whatever. So, you know, I have to kind of grow up. I wouldn't say grow up, but I have to like man up real quick and handle my business a certain type of way, because I don't want people looking at me like I'm a little kid, because I'm a lot younger than them.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I wouldn't say like everybody's like super jealous, but you know, like the hurdles and the hiccups you got to go through dealing with, like, you know, certain people, you know what I'm saying? You got to know how to move pretty much.
And I think one of the fixes to that is, and it's something that I learned because I also dealt with that here in DC.
Yeah.
They did I think like $1 billion reconstruction down where my office is at, and when I initially went there, it's like they was there for me. They wanted me to, you know, do the boat shit there. All alone, they was just taking my work and the shit that I put together to go and replicate it.
Right.
To where I ended up not doing it. But what I learned from that situation is we don't have to be the face.
Right.
Put a motherfucker in the seat and let them show face.
Right.
And that's been helping me in a lot of situations. A lot of deals that I've been doing lately is, all right, you do it. I don't need to show face. You know, when I first started, you know, as an entrepreneur, I wanted my name on everything. You know, my first business is Crossing Shuttle Services. You know, now Shaw's a Miracle. Like, I've now grown out of that to where now let me really just move on the radar. It doesn't have to be Shaw. Even down to R&B Water Vibes. Like, I realized last year, I kind of like went tunnel vision R&B Water Vibes versus R&B Water Vibes being its own brand. It doesn't have to have Boat there. It doesn't have to have Shaw there. It needs to be R&B Water Vibes. So, in situations like that in business, when we have, you know, them real haters, because that's at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's a hater motherfucker seeing a young nigga come through and killing it and just making all this bread. It's like, who the fuck is he and why the fuck he here doing it? That's just a fix for anybody. I mean, anybody that's dealing with that situation in any capacity. You don't have to be the face. Like, it's okay to find that spokesperson. You know what I'm saying? To come out and deliver the same message that you would, you know what I'm saying, deliver. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, again, you having those challenges within, you know, the work field or your business, just learn how to fall back, put a system in place to where it's automated and it don't even need you.
Yeah, it don't even need you. You don't got to talk to nobody. You just sit back. And you, like you told me, man, you want to make sure you delegate tasks out to people so that way you can get your time back. You don't want to be working in your business. You just want to work on your business. And that's what he's pretty much, you know, teaching me now. I need to get my time back so I can just focus on building my business and taking a step back and investing in other things, you know. You got a lot of stuff going on. So make my money, investing in different things, real estate, like you taught me, a lot of different things, funding company. So you always want to have your time. It's more important than money. You want to make sure you have your time. And that's pretty much what I learned best from you, man. And I see you do that. You want to really delegate things to certain people. That way you can just have your time, man. Because money's not, believe it or not, money's not more important than time. We can't get our time back. You can always make your money back. Yeah.
No, that's a fact. As I be looking at you know, my podcast and listening to some of the billionaires, like a lot of some people in you know, in the regular world, they see, you know, people jumping on PJs and helicopters as, damn, that's just cool. Like, that's the lifestyle I want. And they not even realizing this motherfucker really don't give a fuck about this jet or this helicopter. It's just the fastest way of him or her getting to their meeting and then back to where they need to be at. You know what I'm saying? Just like how we went, to New York. We was in and out. We left the stage, hopped on a flight, landed in New York, ate, probably ain't go to sleep until the middle, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, then right back up to the next mission, and then right back on the flight back to the crib. So, it's sometimes not about the money. Sometimes you got to pay for the convenience so that you can just get in and out because you need your time. I needed to get back here. I got to go to Atlanta, to finish the deal off that I got out there. I'm literally going to go out there, meet, hop back on the flight, get back here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, time is definitely of the essence, and you got to move fast too. And we was having a conversation before we got on set about, like, bro, like, people hear it all the time, like, if you can go back to your younger self, what would it be? And I told you, I'm like, bro, if I can go back to your age, nigga, I would just be so focused. Like, I would cut off every single fucking distraction that's around me, and I would just fucking lock in. Like, we love the ladies, we love the trips, we love to have fun, but at the end of the day, that shit is money and fucking time, and it's a complete distraction because the time that we spending over here, you know what I'm saying, we could have been utilizing that time and money to build our business. You know what I mean?
Business,
I told you, one of my things and what's pushed me so much growing up has been I'm gonna retire at 37. That used to be my first thing. I'm gonna retire at 37 because I went in the military at 17. I was going to do 20 years and get out by the time I was 37. So then when I crossed over to the entrepreneurship, it was like, shit, I'm gonna kick back at 35. Right? But now I got more shit, drilled on me, so I'm gonna keep hustling. But for you, it's like, nigga, you really can be set up and done. Like, really put in work for the next fucking 12 to 36 months. And you really kicking your feet up. You already know that. You see the numbers. You understand. All right, now we don't jump into the pontoon. We making our fucking $2,000 a pop. But this nigga over here, he got the catamaran, and it was only a couple more dollars that I already don't learn how to go and finesse the business play, get the funding or utilizing, a funding group. To now we got other people who's putting the money into it. But now we gonna step up and get the real commercial. Like I was telling you earlier, we're running commercial businesses, but the operation is not, quote unquote, technically commercial because of the type of vessel that we have.
Right.
We got recreational boats that we've turned into commercial use. And it's great. It's good money. But now that we've opened our horizon, now we've taken those trips and we're seeing what's going on. Now we understand the numbers even more.
Man.
So now it's like, all right, I'm gonna stop playing for real.
Yeah.
I'm gonna double down on if I go even harder with my marketing, if I go even harder with my upsells, now I'm gonna take that quick lump sum that we making with this pontoon. We're gonna take that bread. We're gonna go get the motherfucking catamaran. We'll still have a pontoon for the people who want the small boats, but we're gonna go get the catamaran. So now we got 88 passengers on this motherfucking boat, and they paying that motherfucking. I told you when I was in St. Martin, 88 passenger boat. Let's do the real math because we do real numbers. We ain't gonna make this shit up. So when I was in St. Martin, I paid $150 for my ticket. All right, that's an 88 passenger boat. There was 88 people on that boat. That's $13,200. While these motherfuckers are enjoying the sunset, while I was over there, I seen Jeff Bezos.
How many hours?
His shit. This was 2 hours, bro. One boat, 13.2. I'm pissed.
People don't know about this.
I'm pissed because I'm over there like, damn, I'm killing this shit. Yeah. I got the R&B drink jumping. I got the boats jumping. These niggas is making 13.2 in fucking 2 hours. Not to mention, they had the other fucking boat that had dinner included, which was another extra $100. So now we went to $250 per hour on the 88 passenger boat. That's 22 racks.
Man.
That's fucking $35,000 in 2 hours.
It don't make sense.
They only invested $200,000 on this boat one time.
Cheap. And people is looking at the price like a boat's like, oh, boats are expensive, 300, 500K, 400K, $250,000. Like the type of ROI you gonna make on it, you can make that back, especially if you set it up the right way with the marketing. Man, you gonna make that right back. You gonna make that right back like in a couple months. To be honest with you, like how much was my boat? Like 92,000. Man, I made that money right back. That shit is for free now. Yeah. People just think about the price because they have a scarce mindset, like, oh, that shit's too expensive. Like, bro, you gotta stop thinking like that. You gotta think about how much money you can make on it, how this is gonna be an asset to you. You gotta open your mind, and like you told me, like, bro, you gotta think bigger. Yeah. A couple thousands a day I'm making, whatever. If you're making a couple thousand a day, 2-3K a day, bro, you can be making 20-30K a day. Yeah. People just have a small mind, like they don't think like, oh, it's possible.
I think even for me though, I think I was focused on expanding left and right versus up and down. Meaning I was focused on becoming the largest rental in the DMV, which we did that shit within the first couple of years. I wasn't focused on having the real commercial boats because I'm like, damn, 300,000, I can go buy me 10 10 of the pontoons, and not even realizing, nigga, if you invest that 200,000 one time, that bread gonna come right back to where you don't went and bought 10 different pontoons. Now you got 10 different pieces of equipment, 10 different slips. Like I wasn't looking at the money, fully.
Right.
I was looking at the immediate. Damn, if I got 10 boats, put all them bitches out for 1,200, I'm making 12 bands in 3 hours. Fuck it, that's running. Nah.
No.
When I could have made that same fucking lucrative amount of money
in 2 days.
But let's talk about the journey though. So because again, it hasn't been. We talked a little bit about the jealousy. What have been the other hiccups or run-ins that you've had? Because the thing is too, people they afraid to get in because of the quote unquote overhead that they have. Does it hurt your pockets to pay your captain?
No, because I'm profiting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's break down the good and the bad, the pros and the cons.
Man, obviously, like I'm saying, it's a lot of good to it. It's more good to obviously than bad to it. But any business you're gonna have negatives as well. I would say the main negatives is if you don't really have the knowledge and how to set up the back end systems, you're gonna be just working all day. I think that's the most crucial thing when you're setting up a business like this is you want to hire a VA to take care of, your bookings, like you taught me, take care of, log in your food, your drinks, whatever, your gas. You want to take care of the little small things, but those are the most crucial things.
Yeah. So let's break that down. So for me, when I hear you say that, when I hear you say we not only do we have the charter, now we have to know how many people are on a boat. Now we need to know if we're not doing buffet style, exactly what they want to eat. So that means in the back end, in order for it to be a smooth process for us, we have to have a system in the back end that allows the customer to fill this out for us. Meaning when they go and do their booking, after it's confirmed that they, or even before they even pay for it, they can build their own plate. Like, are you doing it individually or buffet style?
I'm doing it individually.
Right.
That's how
So
I pay my chef individually per person. So if it's a half day.
So they choose what they want on the menu.
It's a set menu already. So for half day, we already have a set menu. For full day, we already have a set
So
menu.
that's what I'm saying. Is it buffet? Like you bring them fish, you bring them rice.
Yeah.
All right. So it's buffet style. All right. So I mean, if it's individual, because some people, like for example, if they need vegetarian, like we got to think about that too. Like it's not just they don't eat the fish and the lobster and the shrimp. We got vegetarians on here. So on our back end, we need to make sure that the customer can go in and select. All right, we want snapper. We want carrots and shit like that. Most people they're not doing that as far as the systems. They got to understand that if you have the systems in the back end, it'll make it easier for you as far as, all right, on tomorrow we got 10 people, 5 of them they want fish, 5 of them they want chicken, rice, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't have that coming on when I first came on. All I knew is here's a menu, choose what you want. And that put me in a fucked up situation because if I got 10 people on this boat, 2 want chicken tenders, 2 want hot dogs, 2 want, it's too damn much. I had to create a system to say, all right, this is what's on the menu, select from here. If this is what you want, bam.
Right, yeah. So my menu is pretty much easy, it's straightforward, it's a set menu, so I don't really got to worry about that.
Yeah.
You told me, like, don't
overcomplicate it.
The mistakes you learned, the mistakes you went through, you pretty much already put me in place not to make the same mistakes. So that's why, getting a mentor, the money you spend on a mentor, you're going to spend it. Say if you didn't get a mentor, you're going to spend way more money losing it by not having the right guidance. So you might as well just spend it to get the cheat code.
No, that's
get
the
the fast track, the blueprint, and you're going to just excel faster. So that's what helped me. You got to realize I've only been in business for a year and like 5 months. So for the type of money I made, that's honestly crazy. Yeah. Like most businesses aren't successful until the first like 4 or 5 years. Yeah. So, it's just the little small things, but like I said, the little small things are really, really big and crucial.
What's something that if you can go back and change, if you can go back and change one thing, what would it be?
About the business or just in general in life?
The business.
Man, one thing I would probably change, I would definitely change having having a certain I don't really know. That's a trick question. But
so if you can say, you know what, if I would just do this, it'd take me up another $20,000 this month.
Man, okay. So if I had to change one thing right now, I would have got into the bigger boats instead of the smaller boats. I would have got into the bigger boats. I'm explaining to you why. I would have already had invested a little bit of more money instead of the $92K for the Tri-Tune. First boat I would have spent $250,000 on it, right? Because the ROI every day it would have been higher. I would have bring in at least, like, with the public tours, Turks has the potential to bring in like at least $7 to $12K a day profit, especially if you're on TripAdvisor. you can bring that type of money in a day.
Let's talk about that right quick. TripAdvisor. Get them a play about TripAdvisor. What is TripAdvisor? How do you utilize it?
Man, TripAdvisor is pretty much a platform, you know, it pretty much gets all the destinations around the world. They have like little excursions, little events going on. You can pretty much list your business on TripAdvisor and people can book it through TripAdvisor to come to your business.
What's the percentage that they take?
You can decide what percentage they want to take. But obviously the more percentage you want to give TripAdvisor, the more they're going to pretty much push your business for you. So I got an algorithm, you know, in the back end right now. I have somebody that I know that pretty much, you know, he knows all the like loopholes in TripAdvisor, where he pretty much can promote my business a certain type of way by giving them a certain percentage. So that's a whole play right there in itself. But outside of Google Ads, TripAdvisor, a lot of tourists utilize that. So tourists will go on there, they'll see your boat listed on there, they'll just be booking it. Especially if you have a public boat, that's a public tour is different than a private tour. A public tour, people usually in Turks pay like 150, 165 for a half day, but for a private tour, it's like a set price. You got to pay like thousands. So a public tour boat, like a catamaran sized boat, you can hold like 60 people. Some can even hold 100 people. But if you do the math, $160, $150 times 80 people, I don't know how much that is off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's like 80. Say it again. What was the math?
Let's just say 60 people.
60 people
times like 100 and I think the base price is like $170 per person.
Right, that's 10 racks.
10 racks. So do the math. If I spend $250,000 on a boat, $250,000 on a boat,
Make that shit back in a month.
You make that shit back in 1 to 2 months. Because I'm in a high tourist area. You know, obviously we got the marketing. Obviously we're not gonna say everything on camera. Right. He got the secret sauce. We can't drop everything on camera, but you're gonna make your money right back. And not to mention, a boat is gonna last forever. You know, you done made millions of dollars off the chartering. By the time you got to replace the little cheap engines on the boat, which you got to spend like $30K on the engines, but you ran up millions of dollars. Yeah, it's fiberglass. That's a boat gonna last forever.
One of the biggest things that like people will, what about the maintenance? Like right now, you know, one of the videos that we were shooting on the boat is going viral right now, and one of the dudes was in there. He's like, yeah, but what? You ain't talk about the insurance and the maintenance and all that, nigga. We not worried about no fucking $1,000 maintenance,
couple thousand, $30,000
insurance. Yeah. We making that shit every day, all day. What are we worrying about that for? I wanna talk about expansion. Now that you've seen what Turks is doing, what's your mind outside of going bigger with the boats? Like what are you thinking now as far as the boat rental industry? Like, man, are you seeing that you can really just double down and go all in, get a couple of other locations? We ain't gonna say the location, but you and I both we scoped out another location, and we seen how they moving from 5, 6 o'clock in the morning to fucking 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Like it's like it almost never stops.
It never stops.
Is that where your mind is at now with the boat game? Are you?
Man, my mind is, especially me coming out here with you for the past week and a half, man. My mind right now, I'm gonna just say like this: the little 40,000, whatever I'm making a month in Turks, the way you open my mind now, is no way in hell we shouldn't be bringing in like $250,000, $500,000 a month.
A month.
Like seriously, bro. The boat chartering industry is really one of the fastest ways you can become a millionaire. Yeah. Like honestly, if you get in the right area, it's one of the fastest ways you can become a millionaire. You know, with the right marketing, it's one of the fastest ways you can really get to it. My mind right now is shifting in towards like obviously bigger boats. Obviously we can't really say location, our next location, but man, it has so much potential. It's crazy, man. Like it's ridiculous. I can't even put into words how much potential it has. It's crazy.
Yeah. What's been one of your go-to marketing tactics? What's been one marketing tactic you've used and that shit just hit every single time?
I mean, shit, I can't really lie on camera. I mean, I don't even want to really say it on camera.
Come on, we gotta get them real good. What's been a one? Go ahead, give it to him. Young lady, please come here. Let me let you know that I got this boat.
I mean, I give out one, man. They got. You want me to really drop the sauce right now on camera?
Give them one gem. If they were in your seat and they needed, they just starting off and they need to get their business jumping immediately.
Okay, so if you're in a tourist area, this is one gem I'm gonna drop right now that I made I probably made like over 6 figures already just knowing this alone. So if you're in a tourist area, they have Facebook tourist groups. They have also what's the other one? Because I have a VA doing now. It's like little tourist forum groups too on I forget the site she uses, but it gives you opportunity to post publicly like, oh, things to do in this area, whoop-de-whoop. So you can pretty much go on these groups and you can post like your business. So you go post your business. Oh, obviously you charter boats. The new tourists that are coming to this area, they'll be able to see your posts. So they'll see your posts. You know, you'll get a lot of calls a day. You'll get bookings off of it. That's a play right there. So that's a crazy play right there. You know,
Say
that shit on camera, but you can run up a bag just with that alone.
Yeah, that's definitely something that like
getting into tourist groups or like things to do in this area, like things to do in Miami, things to do in Turks and Caicos, things to do in Puerto Rico, things to do in Hawaii, whatever these high tourist areas. What you do is you go on those pages and you post like, oh, your business, your company, we do boat chartering. A lot of people are gonna be calling you because the new tourists that's coming to this area, they're gonna be calling, oh, we want to book your boat, oh, we want to do this, we want to do that. That's a good way to excel your business. And obviously, like Google SEO, you hire somebody to run your SEO. On Upwork, Fiverr, like you taught me. SEO is search engine optimization. Obviously, for people who don't know what that is, it pretty much gives you an advantage in the Google algorithm where people can see your business pop up more and you run ads. So it's multiple things you can do, but you know that's two little gems we can give them. We can't give them the little secret exclusive shit you gave me. But
my nigga said, y'all look, y'all don't have to pay for that shit. I paid my 20 rap. Y'all don't have to pay on. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have enjoyed this episode. You heard it live and direct from one of my mentees himself. Again. It's gone from mentorship to now brotherhood, business partners. If you sitting on the edge, if you straddling on the fence, just go ahead and stop. Just go ahead and invest in yourself. Don't forget, you can click down below the link to join my mentorship. Fill out the application, see if you qualify. And as you can see, you can make hundreds of thousands, if not millions, in the water sports rental industry. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you on the next one, man.
Yep.
That was a good one, bro.